Okay, guys. So, guys, can you see my screen?
Yes.
So, how many physical server I do have? I have something 8 physical servers. ठीक है ना? मेरे पास 8 फिजिकल सर्वर्स है. ठीक है. सर्वर 1 2 3 4 5 6 7 8. ठीक है. और इसके ऊपर हेवी अमाउंट ऑफ सीपीयू एंड रैम है. ठीक है. Got it? These are 8 servers. And if you see the total amount of memory and CPU on these 8 servers, you can see it here. These 8 servers having a capacity of this much of gigahertz of CPUs and something more than 400 GB of RAMs, because one is not booted yet, right? So this is the physical RAM I do have in our lab. And this is the storage. This includes SSD, most of. Okay? So this is your lab. This is, sorry, my lab. This is my lab, means this is the main master lab. I call it as a master lab. Okay. So if you see it here, I do have such something 8 servers. ठीक है ना? All these 8 servers are connected to a switch, Cisco gigabit switch. ठीक है. इसमें anybody is having question? Anything? This is simple LAN. Okay. And this one is a Cisco switch, where your all gateways will be there. And on top of these servers, I installed ESX operating system hypervisor. Correct? Am I audible?
Yes,
Guys?
yes.
Yes.
Audible. Right.
तो इसके ऊपर मैंने क्या किया, and this is how our production works. If you go to your production offices में अगर आप जाएंगे, then on top of physical servers आपका एक operating system रहेगा, that is not Windows operating system, that will be your ESXi operating system, hypervisor. ठीक है. So whatever you are seeing here, these are ESXi hypervisor. So here main concept here is for installing the ESXi, that whenever you build a virtual machine, जब भी आप कोई वर्चुअल मशीन बनाते हो, नो मैटर विंडोज और लिनक्स, सपोज ऑरेंज विंडोज है और ब्लैक लिनक्स है. ठीक है. दैट विंडोज मशीन, वर्चुअल मशीन विल रन ऑन टॉप ऑफ हाइपरवाइजर, एंड हाइपरवाइजर इज कंट्रोलिंग योर हार्डवेयर. It's a hypervisor who will allocate the memory and RAM to your virtual machines. Suppose you are having something 500 or 100 GB 64, or I'll talk about 500 GB of RAM. So it's hypervisor who will allocate something 8 GB of RAM to Linux and 4 GB to Windows. And remaining one, it will utilize for other virtual machines. Correct? यहाँ तक सबका अंडरस्टैंडिंग क्लियर है एवरीवन?
Yes.
ठीक है. तो अभी क्या होता है पता है क्या, कि whenever like this you will install number of VMs on top of your hypervisors. बहुत से VMs होते हैं आपके hypervisor पे. अभी मेरे को तो यहाँ पे डायग्राम में I can draw only few, right? So you'll have most of your servers. These virtual machines are nothing but your servers. कौन से servers होते हैं आपका? Windows servers, AD server, or any application server. ठीक है. They all run on top of your hardware. ठीक है. Now the question is, we need networking to these hardwares, right? So वो networking के लिए अगर आपको चाहिए, so इसमें होता क्या है कि each VM will tag to a VLAN, right? So आप क्या करोगे, यहाँ पे एक standard switch बनाओगे, which is inside of this, but I'm drawing here, okay? So this is actually happening inside. So let me take this inside. So आपका confusion नहीं रहेगा. ठीक है. यहाँ पे fine है. तो each will connect to their respective VLAN and they will do the tagging. ठीक है. Or then if they need routing, then everything will come to Cisco and then go back. So this is called as north south traffic, right? हम ये फिजिकल सिस्को तो मैं अंदर नहीं लाया. सो दिस इज माय हाउ माय लैब इज. सो मैं क्या करता हूँ कि अभी इस फिजिकल लैब पे आई एम गोइंग टू क्रिएट अ लॉजिकल लैब फॉर यू. सपोज आई टेक एग्जांपल ऑफ मुबीन्स लैब. सो मुबीन को मैं क्या करूंगा, दो वर्चुअल मशीन एज अ ESXi होस्ट दे दूंगा. ये ESXi एज अ वर्चुअल मशीन भी चलता है. गॉट इट? ESXi एज अ वर्चुअल मशीन भी चलता है. जैसे विंडोज कैसे चल रहा था आपके लैपटॉप पे.
करेक्ट.
ओके. सो या सो वर्क स्टेशन पे भी आप चला सकते हो. एक तो यूज केस ये है, और दूसरा यूज केस ये है कि आपका लैपटॉप है. आपके लैपटॉप पे आपने क्या कर दिया, एक वर्क स्टेशन डाल दिया, विंडोज वर्क स्टेशन जो भी आता है, VMware वर्क स्टेशन, और उसमें आप क्या कर रहे हो, आप आपका VM चला रहे हो. ठीक है, सेम अप्लाइज हियर. ठीक है. तो मैं क्या करूंगा, दो आपको ESXi हर एक को अलॉट करूंगा. दिस आई एम नॉट गोइंग टू डू इट मैनुअली. सो हाउ आई एम गोइंग टू डू, आई एम गोइंग टू डू इट थ्रू स्क्रिप्ट. तो मैंने लास्ट सेशन में पूरा स्क्रिप्ट रन करके सबका दे दिया. और उसमें इशू ये था कि व्हाई इट वाज टेकिंग लॉन्ग टाइम, क्योंकि जो स्क्रिप्ट में जो ये रखा हुआ था इमेज, वो नॉर्मल हार्ड डिस्क पे था. तो देन आई मूव दैट टू द NVMe. आफ्टर दैट इट स्टार्टेड डूइंग इट इन विद इन अ मिनट. ठीक है. तो मैं आपको दो ESXi दूंगा, और आपको क्या करना है, खुद से एक vCenter भी इंस्टॉल करना है सेल्फ. And then what you have to do, you have to log on to your vCenter and then you have to take control of both the ESXi. अब ESXi कंट्रोल क्यों लेना है? क्योंकि फॉर एग्जांपल, कम बैक टू माय लैब, आई डू हैव 8 सर्वर्स, 1 to 8, राइट? सो ये 8 सर्वर्स को इंडिविजुअली मुझे मैनेज करना हार्ड जाता है. ठीक है. सो दैट द रीजन आई डू हैव वन vCenter, एंड vCenter विल टेक्स केयर ऑफ ऑल दीज 8. इनके ऊपर कितने VM है, कितना वर्कलोड है, कितना CPU यूटिलाइजेशन है, ऑल आई विल गेट टू नो थ्रू दिस vCenter. ठीक है. उसका अगर आपको एग्जांपल देखना है तो दिस इज द वन. ये मेरा vCenter का VM है, एंड दिस VM इज देयर ऑन सर्वर 2. अगर यहाँ पे आप VM के लिस्ट में जाके देखोगे, सो दिस इज दैट. ये वो vCenter है. और आप जो लॉग इन करते हैं ना बाहर से, दिस इज दैट VM. आप ये VM पे लॉग इन करते हो. Whenever you log on through outside, then you log on to this VM. और जब भी मैं लॉग इन करता हूँ, इस पे करता हूँ, और इससे मैं सबको हैंडल कर रहा हूँ. देख रहे हो, ये कंसोल जो आ रहा है, ये इससे आ रहा है. Got my point? ठीक है. सो लेट्स मूव इट गाइस. सो अभी तुमको क्या करना है एक्चुअली. सो व्हाट यू हैव टू डू, सो आई डू हैव वन वर्चुअल मशीन जो कि मेरे सर्वर 2 पे होती है. सपोज दिस इज माय विंडोज वर्चुअल मशीन, and this is connected to a router. Airtel का router को connect होती है ये, and then Airtel router goes to internet. So you guys, whenever you are logging, you are logging it to this VM. और यहाँ से बैठ के then you will take control of your vCenter and ESXi. समझ में आ गई बात? ठीक है. So whenever you want a lab, just simply you have to send me a message on WhatsApp that I need lab. I am available for next 2 hours. मैं आपका लैब बूट करूंगा. देन सिंपली यू विल कम थ्रू इंटरनेट, यू लॉग इन टू योर जंप बॉक्स. दिस इज कॉल्ड ए जंप बॉक्स. ठीक है. आप आपके जंप बॉक्स में लॉग इन करेंगे, एंड देन यू विल टेक कंट्रोल ऑफ योर लैब. ठीक है. सो लेट्स कम बैक टू माय पॉइंट. एनी क्वेश्चन हियर रिगार्डिंग लैब?
Not yet.
Okay. Anyone wants to try? Mubin, do you want to try the lab? Mubin or Shabib or Imran, anyone? Do you guys want to try the lab?
I logged on from my laptop. So
Okay, you logged on to the lab from your laptop, right? What is your lab number?
no, I don't have laptop right now, so I'm just logging with my mobile phone.
Okay, Imran, who is going to access the lab right now? Anyone?
Let me share my credentials somewhere.
No, don't share your credential. You log on to lab and you just show me the screen. I'll guide you. Okay, and also have the access to that this one Excel sheet. There is an Excel sheet, right, which I shared last time with you guys, lab sheet. So what you have to do, you have to refer this lab sheet, and you have to go to your lab. So Imran Pathan, right? Lab number
Mm,
29. So Imran Pathan will go ahead and RDP to this one. Just do it, Imran.
let me log in that.
And your username is your name, Imran Pathan. Where is that? Imran Pathan, and password is this one. Do you want to try?
The sheet is not time. I don't have this sheet.
Okay, I'll give that sheet to you over WhatsApp. So guys, just bookmark this sheet. Okay.
Cloud networking and 60.
Yeah. Do you want to share your screen? I'll stop mine.
Okay.
You share it, otherwise we'll proceed for next. I assume that you guys will take control.
Yeah, I'm just opening.
I don't think so. Sharing will take time.
Okay, let me share first. Guide me.
Okay, leave it. I'll go ahead and continue means this one.
And is it visible?
Yeah, it's visible now. Okay. So you open that sheet and then RDP to that server. Go to that sheet.
Is that correct?
Imran, click on that sheet.
Sheet. Okay.
Okay. RDP to that server. Copy that this one. Yeah. Are you sharing full screen or something?
Mm, let me stop and again reshare. Okay, entire screen. Yeah, I'm sharing it.
Okay. Remove that HTTP. Username is Imran Pathan. क्या हो रहा है?
Password
It's
is
creating problem, right? So you have to give dot. Click on more choice there. Yeah. Click on more choice. Use different account. You have to use domain name, right? ठीक है. Type dot backslash Imran Pathan. Or type clouds networking backslash Imran Pathan. Clouds networking backslash. Okay.
Clouds network. No?
Yeah, clouds networking. Cloud. Yeah. Yes. Backslash Imran bhai. Password VMware.
Okay.
It's not working.
Yeah.
इमरान पठान, मुझे तो यूजर नेम ही नहीं दिख रहा इमरान भाई.
Neither do I.
Let me create it. इमरान पठान.
सही है, ऐसे तो मैं घर पहुंच जाऊंगा आराम से।
हाँ ना, मुझे भी यही लग रहा है.
नहीं, मेरे लिए बेटर है, मैं ड्राइव कर रहा हूँ तो प्रॉपर फोकस नहीं हो रहा है।
ओके,
आराम से पहुंचो. I'm in
आराम से
login.
पहुंचो, देन यू कैन. हमारे इमरान भाई का इतना स्लो चलता है तो इसकी वजह से कोई भी घर पहुंच जाता है.
सही सलामत हूँ.
हाँ इमरान भाई, और एक बार ट्राई करो.
मिल गया.
Yeah, you can try it now. Imran, you can try it now.
I'm trying.
Okay, it's working, right?
No, it's-
Okay.
Yeah, I'm able to log in.
Yeah. So what is your lab number? Just note down. What is your lab number?
Lab number is 29.
Okay, go to open lab number 29 sheet. It's there on same
Okay.
Excel sheet. वो इसको हाइड करो ना, वो हाइड कर दो उसको सामने जो है तो. Okay, click on lab 29. Okay, now you have to access your ESXi. Just copy the lab 29 ESXi1. Have you created DNS? No, right?
Hmm.
Yeah, so you have to follow my that ESXi video, then only it will work. Okay, so now let's not do that. This is only I want to show you that you can access it. Just access. You have your ESXi. Okay, go to start. I'll do one thing. I'll log in and then I'll try. Okay, you will share your screen. I'll share mine. Otherwise, बहुत time लगेगा अपने को.
Stop कर दूँ?
हाँ, you stop it. I'll share my screen. Okay, I'll take over your session. Okay. So I'll go ahead and take over your session. Can you see my screen?
Yes.
Okay, your Imran Pathan is logged in. I'll go ahead and connect to your session. So now assume that I am working as Imran Pathan. Okay. So now I'm inside of your session. So पहले मुझे क्या करना है? First I'll click on VMware Workstation. Okay. यहाँ से I'll connect to that vCenter. It's not a ESXi. Okay. I'll go to File. I'll go to Connect to Server. Okay. Connect to Server. I'm going to connect to our master vCenter. Okay, so what is the use of this one master vCenter? This is the username and password you have to use. So you have to copy this master vCenter. Okay, then now I'm connecting to master vCenter. Okay, then I'll use username as master console, which I have given it to you. You are nothing but you are logging into to this way. This way you guys will have limited control over my lab. Otherwise, what will happen? You guys will crash the whole lab. Okay, so avoid that, just we are using this as an application instead of Chrome. Okay, here I am connecting to the master console username. I am hitting to my vCenter, which generally I use to show you guys. Okay, so here master vCenter clouds networking. ये क्यों नहीं चल रहा है? Let's see. कोई तो लॉगिन कर रहा है. I have to check. फजल. ठीक है, मैं मेरे यूजर ने पासवर्ड से ट्राई करता हूँ, उसको बहुत दिनों के कनेक्ट करके.
वो HTTPS निकाल दो ना, तो शायद से हो जाएगा. HTTPS निकालो उसमें से, ://
अरे एक नंबर. कौन था ये?
मैं था शबीर.
एक नंबर सभी. मैं भूल गया इसको ये करने को. चलो बहुत बारी. Guys, let me go ahead and do that. This is the server. This is the username which I have given you. Okay. तुमको इसलिए why we are going to do that, because you will have limited access. Otherwise, what would happen? You log in through my web credential and then you will make many other changes as well. Okay. Then I have to start rebuilding. So from this application, I am connecting to this master Vcenter. Okay. And then you will see your lab. Okay. So what is your lab number, Imran sir? 29, right? Under 29, you can see ESXi.
Yes.
Okay. So you have to boot this ESXi. You have to click here and then you have to run that ESXi.
Okay.
So how you run? Right click, power on. And then you can go ahead and follow the instruction of ESXi and then you can do it. Okay.
Okay.
The 30 is there and other labs are also there. So I'll check why ESXi 2 is not there. Okay. Only 1 minute. So I don't want to confuse you guys. So this is something going wrong. मुझे चेक करना है कि भाई वाई द 29 का दूसरे क्यों नहीं दिख रहे हैं वो फोल्डर में. ठीक है. सो मैं यहाँ पे क्या करूंगा, लैब 29 सर्च करूंगा. आई गेट ओनली 1 ESXi. ओके. एक ही ESXi मिला मुझे और स्क्रिप्ट ने सिर्फ एक ही बनाया. सो व्हाट आई विल डू इज आई विल गो अहेड एंड क्रिएट द अनदर वन. सबके दो दो जोड़ी है लेकिन इमरान भाई का एक आ गया. ठीक है. सो जनरली हाउ आई यूज टू क्रिएट द ESXi फ्रॉम माय स्क्रिप्ट. ओके. तो मैं यहाँ पे क्या बोलूंगा कि भाई मुझे 29 के लिए बनाना है. आई गो टू डिप्लॉय. लैब नंबर मैं डाल दूंगा 29 और ESXi 29. तो ये आपको नहीं करना है, सिर्फ मैं बता भी रहा हूँ कि ऐसे भी होता है. ठीक है. मैं लैब को रन कर दूंगा तो वो बोल देगा 1 ऑलरेडी एग्जिस्ट, वो 2 बना देगा. ठीक है. सो यहाँ पे यू कैन सी 1 का प्रॉब्लम आ गया, 2 बनना शुरू हो गया. फेल टू कनेक्ट क्रिएट VM और 2 बन गया. ठीक है. इफ यू कम बैक to your this one, you don't have to do it, I have to do it that, but just I'm showing you guys. Okay. You can see that second वाला भी आ गया. ठीक है. And it's also booting. तो अभी इमरान सर का क्या काम है कि he will log in through this console. So what is the difference between both the consoles? Both are same, but because this is having limited functionality and this is having lot many functionality. So that's the reason I don't recommend you guys to log in through web. Meantime, you log into my Vcenter through this one. For your own Vcenter, you log in through web. Okay. I'm coming back to my point. Why I'm not seeing 29 here? Because I have to refresh it. Okay. So later it will come. I'll go to this one and then Imran sir has to log in through root account. Okay. VMware is the password and then he has to configure his ESXi. तो वो क्या कॉन्फ़िगर करेंगे यहाँ पे, he will configure his VLAN network adapter as a 1, VLAN number as 29. Okay, he will configure IPv4, he will configure IPv6, DNS and custom. So you have to follow the last video, so your lab will be prepared. Now I again explain you how to. Okay, I'm going to log off from this lab. Does anybody is having any question? किसी को कुछ क्वेश्चन है? No, right? Okay, I'll log out from his lab. Now I'm in my own lab. So yesterday हमने vCenter install किया था, right? Last time we did installation of vCenter. So मेरा कौन सा lab है guys? Anyone? Any idea? My lab is 32. Okay. So if I go ahead and see lab 32 details, then I can see something here. I'll click here. I'll let you know how to check all these things. I also do have vCenter. तो मैं क्या करूंगा, पूरे मेरे resource boot कर दूंगा. Whenever I log in, this is my lab. I'll boot my all resources. ठीक है. So what is today's topic? Today's topic is vCenter installation. तो हमारा last time हो गया था, right? How we install the vCenter? You have to go to your drive, C drive, clouds networking software, vCenter, and then you have to go inside of this ISO, then this UI 32, and from here you have to run this installer, and then you have to provide your information based on your Excel sheet. Fine. Okay. So once you click it, then you'll have the step by step. You can watch my last video. Now I already configured my labs. If you see it here, if you go inside of ESXi, how I configured, let me go ahead and revise it one more time. Conceptually, किसको problem है क्या इसमें? Any conceptual problem? So here what I did, I configured the VLAN number here as a 32, my IPv4 address, my IPv6 address. I configured DNS as a 1.11. I configured suffix. Okay, and this is how my ESXi is ready. If I want, I can also access my ESXi through 1132.101. This is my ESXi, the one which I installed. Okay, I'll log in it as a root and password as VMware1. So this is my hardware. Okay, so similar to this, you are going to get two hardwares. One is lab 32 ESXi 1, another is ESXi 2. Okay, if you want to do any modification in the hardware, generally you will get 32 GB of RAM. Okay, that is more than enough for you to run. Now here I'll help you to okay, where we are now, as of now, let me take you through. Now I gave Imran sir or myself, I gave one ESXi, second ESXi and vCenter. These three components are mine. So let's go ahead and talk more about those three components. I'll start it as a fresh way. So as a lab 32, I got three things. One ESXi, second ESXi, okay, and I also installed my vCenter. This is my vCenter. And these are my ESXi. ESX, and vCenter. So what I have to do, simply I have to access my vCenter by its name. So what is that name? So how come I'm going to access it directly? I told you that before installing vCenter, you have to make DNS entries. Okay, and then you have to go to your lab 32, and then you have to call by these names. Lab 32 vcenter.cloudsnetworking.in. Okay, your ESXi now. So now I'm going to access my own vCenter. Okay, I'll go ahead and access my own vCenter, which was previously installed. I'll HTTPS to it. Lab 32 that was installed previously. My username is administrator@cloudsnetworking.in, and the password is VMware 2 time. Though it's recently booted, so it will take time for initial boot. Vcenter is not something a VM which you will directly boot up and it will start. Okay, so once I booted my vCenter successfully, then I already created the data center, and I also already created cluster. So what is cluster, guys? Any idea?
एक मैनर
Cluster
में
is a
अगर
group
मैं
of
group of
EXXI on which we enable HADRS feature.
Okay, yeah, correct. So let's go ahead and do that. So initially it will take time 10 to 15 minutes just to boot up. So while starting the session, I would have booted this up, but I forgot to boot up. Okay. So I do have how many servers? If you see it here, 32. I do have 2 ESX server and one vCenter. So you guys are going to get same thing. Everyone got ESXi, and these ESXi you have to build up, boot up, and also you have to install the vCenter. So how to install vCenter? Already I explained you guys. Any question on installing
Sudhir, one
vCenter?
question.
Yeah,
Yes, one question.
yeah.
So, what are the configuration we are providing for vCenter and for the XXI?
ESXi 32 GB
Okay,
and vCenter 8 GB is fine.
8 GB is fine. Okay,
Yeah, right.
okay.
Yeah. So at initial time, it will take time to boot up. You also knows about that. Okay. So meantime, what I'll do, I'll explain my vCenter. Okay. This is vCenter as well, right? This is vCenter. So what I'll do is I'll go ahead and meantime create one cluster. What is cluster? Cluster is a group of compute resources. Okay. Whatever cluster you can take. It's still booting. Okay, so I'll go ahead and create one cluster here. So this is for example only, guys, because I'm doing it on my master lab, which I'm not supposed to do it. I should do it on my the lab server only, the one which we got. And but we can't wait until it's boot up. Okay, meantime let me okay, anyway it's done. So username is administrator and password is 2 time VMware. So this is my first view of my vCenter. Last time also I logged in. So this is my first view of my vCenter. Then what I have to do, I have to call these two ESXi inside of these vCenter. So what this vCenter will do, vCenter will never process the traffic. vCenter is nothing but a manager of these two ESXi. Why we need my manager? Manager will keep watch on these all ESX servers based on they will check, it will check their CPU utilization, memory utilization, or other stuffs. Other configuration of this ESX, you can go ahead and do it through vCenter. Okay. So you can say this sits in management plane, and from here you can manage all your boxes. It's not possible you to monitor all 10 boxes by logging into one by one. That's the reason we need a central point, and that is the core concept of software defined networking. You can see everywhere now. You can also see Palo Alto. Palo Alto got Panorama. You can also see Checkpoint. Checkpoint is having multiple nodes, but all are being managed by one centralized device. Okay, wireless controller. What wireless controller is doing? You have 100 of access point. It will take. It will go ahead and what do you call? Check all the access points which are mapped to it, and it will give you the health information of all the access points. Okay. So let's go back. So this is now first time I'm going into my ESXi. Sorry, This is first view of my vCenter, and you can see it here. I created clouds networking. You can name by your own. You can also create lab 32 as your cluster. Inside of lab 32, I called two ESXi. What these ESXi's are? These ESXi's are nothing but my these servers. This is how compute guy will call multiple servers, 10 to 20 servers they will call under cluster. Okay, but for lab purpose, we'll do only for two. So they need external hard disk. We don't have any internal hard disk. Do you see here? So if you click on your lab 32, then you'll come to note that these two ESXi are having 64 GB of RAM, 32. If you click on this ESXi, then it will say I am having 32 GB of RAM. This ESXi is having 32 GB of RAM. So total RAM your lab 32 got is something 64. Okay. Total CPU you got this much. Total storage you got 0 byte. But now the requirement is to get the external storage. What is external storage first? Let's understand this. Okay. I have not given you storage, right? So what you have to do is, for that I do have one server where storage is there, and the server IP address is 51. Okay, you'll see one address 51. So here I have something virtual storage waiting for you to serve for your lab VMs. So what you have to do is, you can say that this is your connection point. Access this, I don't want to confuse you guys. So here your ESXi is having 101 IP, your ESXi2 is having 102 IP, your server is having .100 IP. Okay, they all are connected to my Cisco switch, and my Cisco switch is having also connected to 1.51. This is nothing but my storage. Whenever you want to create any virtual machine, you will create it here, but that virtual machine will boot it up on your ESXi. Okay, so let's see this in practical. I'll minimize this. I'll go to any of my server. I'll click on, you can see, just let me introduce how the ESXi looks like. You can see this is hypervisor. Okay, it's having Intel i7 processor. It's having two logical processor, two NIC cards, like this. It's in connected state. The server is up since last 10 minutes. It's having this much of CPU and RAM. There is no hard disk. We are going to configure the hard disk. Also, you can click on monitor tab, and you can also monitor this server, physical server, that how this physical server CPU is behaving live, how this server's memory is behaving. Okay, real time if you want. Otherwise, if you want past date, generally you can log into your laptop and say your task manager doesn't give that information, or does it? This is my task manager, right? Does this task manager store any CPU and RAM information? Any question, guys? Any thoughts? Does your laptop Windows machine stores the CPU and RAM information, usage information? No, right? No or yes?
No, it shows a real time only.
It shows only real time, right? But it's hypervisor who will store that information, and that information you can see it here. You can select memory or CPU, and you can check that this device was how it was working last day, how it was working last week. It depends on your configuration. Though this is first time we have configured, or we have not really used it, that's the reason we don't have any much data, but you can save this information like this. Okay, it will give you that performance information. Okay, I'll go to configure. Here I should have the SCSI adapter. So click here and add the iSCSI adapter. So it will add one adapter, virtual adapter, that is VMBHA65. Okay, and now you are ready to call your storage from here. Okay, so just click on rescan storage or rescan adapter. You can click here, and you have to do the further configuration. First, you have to start from network port binding. What does this mean? That how storage traffic will go. So you have to add and say that through this interface, my into storage traffic will go. We are using only one interface in lab, but In production, you will have multiple NIC cards. Okay, your server will not work like this. Your server will have different switch, different storage switch, and different connectivity, NIC connectivity to this one. Okay, and it will connect to storage through this path, not through IP path. It depends. So here I am going to use management. Okay, then I'm going to use a dynamic discovery option where only I have to add the my storage IP address. Just add the IP address, port number is default, click OK, and just rescan it. You are going to borrow the storage from that device. Okay, rescan adapter and rescan storage. You'll automatically see here 3 storages are available for you. If you want to check their GBs, you can see 200 GB, 62 GB, and 400 GB. Okay, these storage is now available for you to use. By sitting here, you don't have any storage, but through remote logging, you are calling that storage. So this is how storage functions. Okay, so I'll go to my storage here. I'll click here, expand it. You can see I do have 3 different storage. Whenever you see learn, then that is remote storage. Okay, you can also browse that files of that one, so you can see lots of many students, they have created their own routers and all these things. So don't touch others information, just take yours only. Okay, you can see here multiple students, they have created many of their VMs, VM1, VM2, VM3, like this. Okay, and if there is an error, I will take care of such errors. I'll go ahead and do it.
Sir, one question.
Yeah.
In real environment, can we see all storage like these folders?
Yes, in real environment you'll have 10,
Can we
10
see?
20.
Can we see the visibility of the storage and all other VMs which they are using by other ESXIs?
Yes,
Okay.
you can go ahead and see it, but you should have vCenter login. But generally what happened, vCenter is complete storage compute solution, so these guys will not give you authentication first, correct?
Okay.
But
Okay.
now the profile demands, if you are going to become NSX administrator, then they are going to give access and you can do it. So that time you have to easily understand that your VM is having problem or no problem, something like that, you can go ahead and do. So this way, what I did, I got access of these 3 storage, which is having in good capacity. Okay, so this is my whole thing. So first thing is something what you can see it here. The first thing, host. Here your physical servers will come. Here your virtual machines will come, but in folder. If you want to create any folder, right click it, new folder for VM. So you can say that I want to create a folder for my management resources. If you want to create any resource, then you should have to tag it to any folder. You have to put it inside of any folder, right? So you can put it under management folder. If no folder is there, then it will come under discover virtual machine. So here you will see all these things. Now it's time for creating the switch. Okay, so after creating switch, we are going to create a virtual machine. So what is switch? Let's go back. Everyone understood the concept of how we are calling the storage? ESXi installation, vCenter installation, ES and storage. 4 thing I have explained you. ESXi, vCenter and storage. Should I move for networking? Okay.
Yes.
Now, whatever virtual machines you are going to create, but before this, you have to make VMs available, correct? Sorry, switch available. So you have to create a switch. By default, standard switch is created. What do you mean by standard switch? Standard is a default switch which is there on each ESXi. So first, let's work with the standard switch. Okay, inside of a standard switch, you can create virtual machines. VLANs, port groups that we call here. Okay, I'll go here. I'll click on my this device. I'll go to my ESXi. I'll go to configure, and from here I'll click on virtual switches. So you can see there is a one standard switch is already there. But what is the problem with the standard switch? ये switch में क्या problem है? It's
अगर
having
अपने को अगर अपने को कुछ मैनेज करना है स्विच पोर्ट्स पोर्ट ग्रुप्स, तो ईच मशीन में एवरी मशीन में जा अलग अलग मशीन्स में जाके चेंजेस करना पड़ेगी.
Okay, let's go ahead and see that. Why I'm focusing on this switching part? Because this is related to networking. Okay, so what I'll do is I'll go ahead and create one VLAN. Okay, so this is I'm there on first ESXi. Here I'm going to create uh, one port group. What is port group? It's nothing but a group where all the virtual machines will connect, and then from there they will take a tagging, and then they will go outside. So outside world will identify them as a VLAN 32 device. Correct? So I'm going to create a port group. Here I'll click here virtual machine port group for a standard switch. Okay, what will be the where you want to connect? I don't want to create new switch. I want to continue with old only. Okay, then what you want to label it? I'll say that this will be my web servers port group. Here I'm going to keep all my web servers. What VLAN you want to give? I'll say that I'll give one VLAN, and that will have a number as 100. Okay, so we have web server will tag to 100. Next, finish. Do you see web server here? Yeah. So whatever server you are creating, if you connect it to this web server, then it will be part of that. It will tag to that one. Okay, so let's see how logically you can see that. So these are the two standard switches. Here I created one web server port group. Already there is a port group called as 32, and now I'm going to create a web server with the color of green. So this one I created. So whenever I'm going to create any VM of web server, then obviously I'll attach to my web switch only, web port group only, correct? And this web port group through the trunk, it will go to my switch, and here routing will happen. Correct or not correct? Is it true?
Yes.
This is a basic concept, okay, and everyone must understand this. So what I'm going to do now, I'm going to create a virtual machine called as a web server, and this virtual machine will have the tagging of VLAN 100, and then it will go outside. Okay, instead of using tagging of 100, I can use any of other as well, but anyway, let's go for this one only. Now let's go to another switch, your ESX. You think so web server is created here automatically? No, right? Why? Any idea?
Yeah, we need to create manually because it is a standard switch. It remains on the same ESX only, within a same ESX only.
Yeah, so this switch is having limitations. This standard switch configuration will remain to local. If you do anything here, that also remain to local. So what happen if I give you something 10 more servers? How you are going to manage the networking? That is going to become really difficult, right?
Yes.
So that's the reason we need extra means this is a standard switch. We need a distributed switch, VDS. Okay, so let me come back. So first start working with the standard switch only. Okay, so now I'm going to create a virtual machine. How to create virtual machine? Right click here, create a virtual machine. So see, every time if you go ahead and create Windows virtual machine, then it will eat up your memory. So in Linux version, there are small virtual machines are there. That will take only 50 MB just to boot up, and it will provide you basic networking, browsing, and some other features. Okay, so create a virtual machine. Okay, so name it as a web. Just every time, whenever you are creating any resources, name it as your lab number first, and then your whatever your VM number. Otherwise, what will happen? I am going to delete it because I am not going to ask everyone that whose virtual machine that is, right? So every time, whenever you are doing anything, just put your lab number first. So I'll ask you before deleting it. Okay, where I want to put this virtual machine, I'll say that will be my management virtual machine, web server. Okay, obviously management is not a correct word. I'll put it in discover only. Later I'll move it to management for web server folder. Okay, I'll keep it in discovered only. By default, any VM which has no folder, it will go in discovered virtual machine. Next. Okay, So it says that, yeah, let's check resource. It says that compatibility check succeeded. What does that mean? It means that VM you can go ahead and create on ESXi1. If there is an error, resource error, then it will say that you can't create any VM because I don't have resource. Okay, next, then on which hard drive you want to install. So before doing any installation, make sure that you have free memory. Here only 2 GB is there. How come you can go ahead and install something here? So wherever free is there, click there. Then it will say compatibility check succeeded. Next. Okay. Version. What is compatibility? ESXi starts from version 4 or 3.5. So if you have multiple environment, one environment is there in 6 and one environment in 7, and you created any virtual machine with the ESX7, then it's going to create problem when you run it on ESX6. But nowadays, nobody is using below 6.5 or 6.7. Everyone is there on 7. Even you can see ESX version 8 also in there in market. So I'll say ESX7. Okay. What kind of guest operating system you want to install? Tell them that I want to install Linux. What kind of, which version? So Debian 61064. Always select this one. So this will create a shell according to. Means he knows that the Linux operating system with this version needs this much CPU and this much of RAM. Okay, automatically it will come up with this configuration. Now you have to provide the CD, right? You have to provide the CD. If you want more CPU, go ahead and take it. If you want more memory, go ahead and take it. Okay, mistakenly I deleted. Okay, if you want more hard disk, you can add, keep adding hard disk as well. Okay, if you want more network interfaces, go ahead and add more network interfaces there. Okay, and here I'll go ahead and select my web server as my port group. I'm going to attach to this one. So if you visualize this, then you are going to do this one. Okay, you can do it now or you can also do it later as well. I am connecting to this one. I don't want this extra NIC card. I am deleting it. So now installing it doesn't cover, this does not come up inbuilt. Okay, so that's the reason you have to give that ISO file. ISO file you can see it somewhere else. You can go ahead and see one ISO file will be there for operating system Slacks. Okay, so this is the Slacks operating system. You have to go ahead and use it. I'll click on Slacks and then okay. But see, having CD player doesn't mean that it's connected. You might have seen that you have many PCs where you have kept the CD player disconnected. Nowadays we are no more using CD player. So connection and disconnection physically it's possible for us, right? If you have physical device, then physically means physically it might be there, but you might have disconnected the power cable. Same is here. You can connect it or disconnect it. Okay, and then if you have a VGA card, NVIDIA graphic cards, you can go ahead and give it here. Okay, next he is going to do the installation. And always make sure that whenever you are installing, your hard disk is in thin provision. If you see it here, your hard disk, if you expand your hard disk, make sure that it's in thin provisioning. Okay, next, finish. Now your operating system, the shell is ready. I'll go ahead and boot it. So this way I'm going to click on this one web server and I'm going to boot it. So it's booting now. If you want to take console, how to take console? Generally, if you want to switch console, then we have to visit that location. Though this is virtual machine, simply you can click on it. This is how it happens in production. Okay, so your virtual machine is booting up. Okay, let it boot. I'll come back in 1 minute. Okay, guys. So what do you see now? This is a lightweight operating system which you got as a testing. You can right click here somewhere and you can see file manager, web browser, all these small features you can see it. Okay, so all these features you can see it. If you want to do configuration of your network manager, if you want calculator, this is a lightweight operating system which runs with very less amount of energy. You can see it here. Refresh it. You can see it here. It's taking only 1.5 GB of memory. Okay, which is less, very less compared to Windows. I'll go back to operating system. Now let's do the configuration. So what configuration you want me to do? Let's go ahead and give the network configuration. Um, if you want to use outside world, give the IP address manual, give address as 192.168. Your lab number is 32, right? 32 dot, give it 200. Okay, later we'll also change the VLAN tagging 255.255.255.0. Oh, sorry, gateway address 192.168.32.1. Okay, //24. Name server, other IP information you can give, you can apply it. Okay, close it. Now let's see if we can ping to 32.1. Obviously, you will not be able to ping because we mismatched the VLAN number. Okay, 32 dot, we have 100, right? Is it pinging? No. Why it's not pinging, guys? Because here I did a mistake. Mistakenly, I mapped it to VLAN 100. Okay, so whenever it's looking out, then VLAN 100 is not part of this 32 VLAN, right? I have to change the tagging first. So let's go ahead and do it. So how I can change the tagging? I'll go to the ESXi. This tagging I have to change it to 32. Okay, then I'll view the setting, or I can go ahead and edit it as well. So how to edit? I'll go to networking, web server, action, and then you can edit it, but it's not giving that permission. Okay, guys, it's not giving me permission. Because can you help here to identify it?
Sure. What do you want to?
Oh, I got it now. Edit. Earlier it was grayed out. Now it's showing that. Okay. So
Okay.
mistakenly I did it this 100. I'll match it to 32. So what
Okay.
happens, guys, when I did it, then this VM became a part of VLAN 32, and now you can go to this VM. You can see it started pinging.
It will ping, right?
So what does this mean? This means just I shown you the basic networking here. This is having something 32.xx 200. Okay, it's simply connecting to the 32.1. Okay, so now this ESX also having same IP address as a VM kernel. I'll go ahead and try to ping it. Okay, I'll go to this ESXi. Where do I find this ESXi IP address? On VM kernel adapter. You can see 101, and this second one is having 102. Let's see if I can ping 101 and 102. 101, yes, I can ping. 102, yes, I can ping. 102 I have not configured yet, so yeah, I configured it long back. So why 102 is not pinging? This 102 is working fine.
You need to set the VLAN from the DCUI mode.
No, already it's done long back, but might have forgotten. Then let me go ahead and check if that is the case. I have to go to virtual switch and make sure that 32 is there already.
Okay.
102 it should ping. Okay. So 102 is not pinging. So
Yes,
I'll tell
it
you.
is showing in the maintenance mode, I think.
No, I'll tell you
It
guys.
doesn't.
See, to make this interactive, I did lots of mistake, and then I am solving it by questioning you guys. Okay. So what mistake I did? So for that, you have to identify that. How you'll identify? Uh, Generally, I ask you to go through the workstation, right? Login through workstation. Okay, I'll log in through workstation. I'll connect to Master Vcenter, and suppose I am a student candidate. Okay, how do I do this? I'll go to my lab 32. I'll click here, right click here, go to setting. You can see here.
Okay, you selected the different
Yeah.
adapter.
But anyway, I'll make
Run.
it simple. I'll make it simple. I don't want you to use this looks to be very hectic. Okay, don't use this one directly. Log in to my Master Vcenter, but don't do any changes without your lab. Okay, I'll go to Master Vcenter and then I'll expand this. I think because you catched it right, what I'm trying to say.
Right. Right.
But you
Right.
are from compute background. That's the reason you are doing it easily. So I request you to answer at last.
Sure.
Right?
Sure. Definitely. That's why I'm quite
Yeah.
silent.
So guys, here what happens, you can see here ESXi1 is mapped to a VM network. The uplink is not in trunk. Do you see here? So you know the difference between access port and trunk port?
Sir, I think you are checking in your lab 29.
Oh, lab 29. Okay. You know the difference between access port and trunk port? Yeah, this is trunk only. This should work now. This is trunk already. Why it's not pinging then? Let me check it from outside. Sometime firewall will block internal. 101 is pinging and 102 is also pinging.
Not 168.32.102.
Okay, thank you. 101 and 102. Both are pinging. 102 is not pinging. There is
I
some
think
problem with,
it's we need to check it's booted
yeah, it's pinging.
completely or not.
Both are
Yes.
pinging. Both are pinging from outside, but to this VM it's not pinging. So you can go ahead and troubleshoot it. Okay. So
Sir, I think we need to do trouble routing between the two ESXi because it is not in the same server,
no,
ESXi server. So that's why it's not going
they
out from
all
the
are
ESXi1 to 2.
they all are in same ESX, same VLAN.
We
Why do
did
you do
we
that?
did not complete we did not done with the routing, I think.
No, it's using 32.1.
Mm,
See, something wrong happens here. So what I have to do is, see, this is virtual environment, so you have to disable and enable it. Okay, then it will come correctly. Do you see it's corrected now? 102. Let's see from outside if I can ping to 32.200. This one, it's going to 1.100 and then it's going there. Okay, it's pinging from there. Everyone is pinging apart from 10. 102 is also pinging. For him, it's not pinging. Why? There is a separate reason for that. I know that reason. Here, there is a permission. Okay, so you don't go for that. Here, it's in accepted state. Yeah, I did this as well. Okay, so anyway, it's not pinging, so that is not a big deal. It should ping, but so what we learned today, we learned that how any virtual machine can tag to any VM and then go outside and hit to their devices. Even if I go ahead and ping to the 1.51, let's see if that works. I'm going to ping to 1.51. It's pinging. Let me try to ping to Google. Name server is not there, so it's not able to resolve. 8.8.8. I think it's not added in NAT. That's the reason it's not pinging. So this Cisco device, it's not added yet in NAT. That the reason might be it's not working. So leave it for some time. Okay. So what we learned, guys, any doubt here before moving to distributed switch? I connected to the, I created a port group with the VLAN tagging, then it's going to gateway. So now, any question here?
I have a question.
Yeah.
So after the standard switch, what exactly is the device? Is it router, outside router, or what?
No, come again.
Here is a in VM or ESXi host. There is a standard switch, and after that we have forwarding traffic
Right.
on router, right?
Yeah, this is router. This is my Cisco switch, which is doing routing. You want to see that switch? What is your question?
Yeah, yes. So how how
Who
is
is
it
R,
working?
right?
Hmm.
Who is R? R is nothing but my Cisco device. I'll take you there. See, do you see 32.1?
Okay, so yes, got it.
See, I'm seeing all. Okay, let's come back to my point. Now I'll go ahead and have one different VM. Okay, which will be there in different segment. Okay, so I'll have 132. Okay, I'll use 132. Generally, what happen, I'll give you two VLANs. One is 32 and one is 132. So I have to create that 132. So how to create it? I'll go ahead and quickly do it. VLAN 132. Okay, interface VLAN 132. IP address 192.168.132.1. Okay, now we came up with a new gateway. That is 132. In future, I'm going to give these new IPs to you, but not now. Okay. So now let's assume that I'm going to have a new VM in 132. So what I have to do, I have to go ahead and create a port group. How I'm going to do that? So you'll log into this master vCenter. Okay. And sorry, log on to your own vCenter. Don't log on to master vCenter frequently. I'll go ahead and create one port group. Last time I created in different way. This time I'm going to let's use only one ESXi. Okay. I'll go ahead and create add networking. This one. I'm going to use only the same switch. This will be something new application server. Okay. And here I'll use tagging as 132. Next, finish. Now let's have a new VM here. Right click. I need a virtual machine. Create a new lab 32 application. Okay, put into discover only for now. Go to next. Use same ESXi only. Don't change the ESXi because we have not created anything on this one. Okay, next. Where you want to create it here. Where you find more storage. Next. Use Linux. Use Debian 10. Next. Then use all these things and up in hard disk, make sure to use thin provisioning. Okay, here it's connected to your application. Okay, connect your ISO file. Where is your ISO file? It's somewhere around Slack's operating system. Okay, then make sure that it's in connected state. Do the next, finish. Your new virtual machine is ready. Boot it. Okay, once you boot your virtual machine, what does this mean? You have created a new VM which is going to connect to a new port group which is having 132 tagging. Okay, So what do you think, guys? These VMs sitting on same box, they will connect with each other? No, right? Or do they? Without gateway? Networking, guys. Shabib, Vikas.
What is the question?
The question is the green VM and orange VM will connect to each other or not? 32.200 and 132.200.
Uh,
No,
Please repeat it once again.
See,
No.
I have created two virtual machine. Now I want to ask you that if I give IP address 132.200 here, do they connect to each other or not?
And
If
both
the
subnets
if
are
the
Since
same.
routing
it,
if
if
the
it is
routing is enabled
same,
on the switch, it will be reachable to each other.
That is correct answer. Okay, if you have routing available on switch, then only they are going to connect.
Correct.
That means they have dependency on my Cisco switch.
Correct.
Correct. So why we need that? That is the main question. And this is how the software network defined networking will come into place. Okay. Well, give it 132.1 and then 0 apply. Guys, make sure to turn it off and on because sometime it won't behave properly. Go to command prompt, terminal, and try to ping to 132.1. Pinging? Yes. Ping to 32.1. Pinging? That is also true. Try to ping to 200. Pinging? How it's possible? How the traffic flow is between these two VMs, 1 and 2. The traffic flow is like this. Traffic is going outside, then coming backside. Is it true or not?
Yeah.
yes.
Should I break this communication and then try? Everyone understood, right? What I'm trying to say. This is where we are making north-south networking. And even though they both are sitting on same box, they have dependency on Cisco. So that dependency, why I'm going to do it? Why I'm going outside, whether the person is sitting next to my room, right? If the persons are there in same room, they want to talk to each other. So why to go outside and take permission from security guard and then come back, right? There is no logic behind it, right? Till now, our legacy suffers from this environment, and now that is broken. And now, without that, you can do it. But that is possible when you learn software defined networking. That is NSXT. Correct? If I remove the uplinks of ESXi, then I won't be able to communicate between two. Okay. So how to do it? I'll go to my master. Whenever you want to do any changes on your lab, then you have to refer master. Okay. I'll go to master 31. This is the one, right? These are the trunks. I can go ahead and uncheck the uplinks. Uncheck means I'm going to unplug those physically. This is logical. We are in logical world, and make sure that the changes are taking place completed. So what has happened, okay, the problem happened, the management gone, right? The management is gone, then how come VM will work? So let me connect it back. So that is not the right way of practical. Let me connect it. So I have to shut down the gateway. What gateway? The 32 gateway. If I do that, then if I shut down this 132 VLAN, then communication won't happen because it all depends on Cisco. You want me to try? Okay. So let's continuously ping that. In Windows, it's only having 5 pings, but in Linux, it's continuous. Okay. So here 132 machine is pinging to 32 continuously. If we lose the gateway communication, then the ping will stop. Got it? So where you have dependency now? You have dependency outside of your environment, and which you don't want. Okay, coming back to my point, just this way. See, once your theory and concept is clear, later you'll survive for long. Just a basic thumb rule. Okay, so this is why, that's why I focus to clear your basic, guys. So this is the first basic. Now if everyone can go ahead and see that I created something on standard switch application and web, but I can't see it on another switch. This is the challenge. So in order to avoid this, you have to create a switch that is called as distributed switch on vCenter. It's only possible through vCenter. So I say that lab 32 distributed switch. Whatever name you can go ahead and give it. Next. So which version? Okay, keep it whatever current. How many uplinks you need? What I'm going to create? I'm going to create a switch. I'll take a green. So how many uplinks you need per ESXi? So you have to say 2 or 1. Okay, 2. So this, I think here something, let me delete everything. Okay, so now I'm going to create a switch which will extend to both. So where I'm creating it now, first I'm creating it here on vCenter. Then I'm joining these 2 boxes here. Okay, so I'll bring it here. Let's go ahead and create a distributed switch. I need only 2 uplinks. If you go for more uplinks, then what will happen? You lose your ports. Okay, do you want to create any default port group? Tell them that don't create or create. Nothing happen. Okay, finish. My distributed switch is created where? It's created only on vCenter. It's not used yet. It's created here. It's not used yet. So what I'll do, I'll add that this distributed switch will have 2 uplinks. So then I'll go ahead and add this 101 and 102. So what will happen? 101 and 2 will go, it will go ahead and push it here, the switch configuration. And then it will go ahead and use 2 uplinks. So these uplinks, existing uplinks from the standard switch, you have to move it to distributed one. I have to disconnect it from here, right? I have to disconnect it from here, and then I have to connect it here. So how it works, let me show you. Suppose this is my new distributed switch. Okay, uplink is this one. So what I have to do, I have to remove that uplink, and then I have to give it here. Okay, so let's go ahead and do this. Process is risky. You might lose the control over ESXi if not done properly. But vCenter is having one mechanism that if that doesn't work, then it will roll back. So anyway, I created my distributed switch. Distributed switch looks like this. This is your distributed switch. It's not having any host yet. Host means any ESXi yet. If you want to see anything, relations that this is having how many VMs, how many hosts, you can see it here. I'm going to add this one. So I'm going to click here, add and manage host. You can add new host. I'll go ahead and add new host, add. How many total hosts you have? I have 2. Okay. Next, you have 2 Vmnics. Okay, per host. So, okay, connect up to uplink 1 and connect to uplink 2. Next, what port group you want me to assign? So here you have to give some port group. We don't have any port group yet. Okay, I'll cancel it. So what happened, do you remember there is a one management port group is there on name as 32? VLAN 32 port group. This is 32 port group. It's not available on the new switch. First, I'll make that available. Management port group available. New distributed port group. Okay, I'll say that MGMT 32, my lab number. And how many ports you want per switch? I say ephemeral, no winding. Let my devices connect there. Okay, what VLAN you want to use? I want to use 32 number VLAN. Okay, fine. So I created this one, which is the duplicate of this one. Okay, this is the default port group, and this is the, because I'm moving from here to there, right? So this is that one. I'll go ahead and click right click, add manage host. I want to add a host. It says I have two. Okay, all two, both use uplink 1 and uplink 2. Okay, and then use my new port group, which is I created management 32. It says okay, this is the VM kernel port which has the IP address as 101 and 102. Next, do you have any virtual machine? I say no. Migrate my virtual machine as well, but for virtual machine migration you don't have any port group. Okay, next, finish. So what's happening, now I have changed my uplink from one to another. So this is something heavy to understand. So what I did, I changed my both the servers uplink from this one to this one. Okay, I disconnected it from here and connected it here logically. It will take more and more time, guys, for you to understand. From outside world, check if both the servers are reachable. Yeah, both the servers are reachable. Else you might have get disconnection and all. Okay, now you can see there are two switches again. One is a standard switch which doesn't have any uplinks. One is distributed switch which is having only one port group and it's having two uplinks. Do you remember earlier port it was having uplink? Now this is no more. Now we have distributed switch. So now just see the basic understanding of this one. Okay, now see what is the benefit of distributed switch. Right click here, just you have to create only one time port group, that I want MGMT VLAN 132. If you create it at once, okay, it will create on to both. See, it will create on both the devices. Finish. You have created only at once, right? But it will go ahead and create on both. You can see it here 132. You can also see it here 132. Refresh it. You'll not see until and unless there is any VM connected to it. So let's go ahead and connect it. Okay. So I'll create application and web. New port group, application. Application port group. Just give, if any non VLAN is there, then VMware will assume it as a VLAN 0. Okay. And go to your VM and then change the port group as well from existing to the new one. New one, this is application PG I created especially. So whenever you see this icon, then this is distributed port group. Whenever you see this, this is standard port group. Okay. I'll go ahead and use that. Okay. For web, I'll go ahead and use VLAN 32 for now. Okay, now you go to these devices, you can see both 32 and 132. This is having 0 and this is having that one. We see two port groups I created at only once and it's there on both. So why it's not reflecting here? Because it doesn't have that port group here. The spanning tree instance will get only triggered if we have VLAN in that one. So once we have VM on this 2, then only it will show here. Okay. Any question, guys, on distributed switch? Okay, so you can see more on distributed switch. You can go to configure. You can see that you are having this distributed switch. It also support multicasting, CDP, LLDP. If you see topological wise, then these are the port groups it's having and the VLAN numbers it's having. Okay, if there is no VLAN number, it will say dash. You can also have port group option, LACP. Okay, there is no PAGP. You can use private VLAN. You can use NetFlow. Okay, so to collect the information, and you can also do port mirroring. We have port mirroring, right, for troubleshooting purpose, and everything you can go ahead and use. You can also do traffic analysis, which kind of traffic you can keep with which share. Lot many features are there in the distributed port group. Okay, but though we are network guys, we need only limited functionalities only. And each port group, each VM will get MAC address. You can see those MAC address from here. Okay, those links are up and down. See, my virtual machine got this MAC address and it's connected to this port group, and this is the one, and it's part of this VLAN. This is the holistic or aerial view of your environment. Okay, and this port group is connected, extended to how many devices? If you have got third device, then you have to go ahead and add it from here. If you want to remove it, you can also remove it. How many VMs your distributed switch is holding? It will say that 2 VMs. How many networks? It says that we have 3 different networks available with us. And how many VMs per network? It also give in port format. Why port? Because one VM can have up to 10 devices, 10 NIC cards. That the reason it's giving in ports. Okay, one VM is not equal to one port. One VM can equal to 10 ports. 10 different networks you can configure in one VM. So guys, this is your distributed switch, and you have to follow this video and you have to do it. Okay, so what is the benefit here? Once you created once, then it will go. But again, your problem is still there. What? North south routing. So we'll see, discuss more after this break. Okay, let's take a 10 minutes of break. Let's come back at 10:45. Fine.
Yes.
Any question, guys? Okay, let's come back at 10:45. Then we'll see next. Bye. I'll be on mute. Okay, guys, hope everyone is back. So Mubin went for break. Hello. आगे के सब
I'm back.
I'm back.
I'm back.
विकास.
I'm back.
Okay, so Mubin went for dental clinic. So let's continue without him. Okay, so guys, this is what called as a distributed switching. Okay, I also explain you how storage works. So this is nothing but your remote storage in organization. This remote storage is recommended. Okay, you can see your VM is running here, but actually it's saved here. If something goes wrong to this device, don't worry, you can boot up on the second device as well. Let's go ahead and see that. Okay, so that is called as high availability. Okay, and that is a vCenter feature. Let's go ahead and check that. I'll go to my cluster. So now I'm going to explain you the basic features of vCenter. That is enough for as a networking guy. Okay, you don't have to go into that level of deep to understand all the things, otherwise you'll become compute engineer. Okay, so what happened if my ESXi1 fails all of a sudden? The answer is my both the virtual machine will get rebooted from this device to that device. What happened if my port groups are here but not here? The answer is distributed switch. You have to use distributed switch. So we are using distributed switch, right? So that is why we use distributed switch. So whenever you are creating any port group, same port groups will be created on the different device as well. Okay. So now consider this orange is nothing but your distributed port group. Let me delete this one. Yeah. So let's try to see. I'm going to shut down this ESXi to see if these will get rebooted on the 102. So you can see it here. If I click on 101, you can click on VM tab. So the VM tab will go ahead and tell you that I'm having two virtual machines. But guys, a problem with this virtual machine is these are the temporary virtual machine and they are connected to their what you call uh, they are booted from the pen drive, hard drive. Okay, that the reason for such virtual machine it's not possible to move from one device to another device. For that you should have Windows machine. Okay, so let me check if I do have any Windows machine available on my device which can be moved from one device to another device. Lab 12 router, I think this is the one. Guys, do you see Windows machine? No. Okay, I'll show you the practical here. So what will happen here, you can go to this one and you can click on your cluster, you can click on configure, and then with vSphere availability you can turn the HA feature on. So ये feature का मतलब क्या है? Whenever you turn it on, so any failure happens, then it's going to restart the virtual machine to the another available host. If you enable this feature, then any virtual machine which shut down because of this ESXi host will be restarted to the another host. Okay, and if you want to see that example, let me check on my vCenter if that is possible. So we have these two ESXi, right? One is there on 107, another is there on 104. Okay, so what I'll do is I'll go ahead and restart 104, but on 104 I think my devices are also running on 104. If I go to 104, then my lab is also there on 104, or no, 32 is not there. Okay, so where is my lab? My lab is there on 7. Okay, so guys, ESXi2. Okay, this is the virtual machine. Let me go ahead and check if my DRS that feature is available or not. it's in off state. I can go ahead and make it, turn it on. Okay, it's creating other issues, so let's not go for that. But practical समझा क्या इसका? Concept हो गया क्या इसका clear? Forgot about practical for some time because we don't have that VM. कि अगर इसको कुछ होता है तो ऑटोमेटिकली ये VMs will boot up here because their hard drive is outside. So vCenter क्या करेगा, ये हार्ड डिस्क को लेके इस पे मैप कर देगा और इस पे बूट कर देगा. क्लियर? एंड उसका सेटिंग होता है यहाँ पे. कहाँ पे? ये यहाँ पे. इसको आपको टर्न ऑन करना होता है. ठीक है. प्रोएक्टिव का मतलब क्या है कि ये इसको ESX1 को प्रॉब्लम होने ही वाला था. ठीक है. उसका CPU हाई 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 हाई, मेमोरी लेस होते ही जा रही थी. तो ये प्रोएक्टिव क्या करेगा, आपके VM को उठा के इधर लेके जाएगा. दैट इज कॉल्ड एज V मोशन. ठीक है. V मोशन देखना है आपको कैसे होता है. आपके लैब में ये ऑपरेटिंग सिस्टम का लिमिटेशन है, दैट द रीजन V मोशन काम नहीं करता, लेकिन मैं मेरे मास्टर में बताता हूँ, क्योंकि आप वो खेलते बैठेंगे तो NSX रह जाएगा. ठीक है. सो व्हाट इज V मोशन? फॉर एग्जांपल सपोज ये आपका है 107 पे और ये है आपका 104 पे. 104 पे थोड़ा प्रॉब्लम हो रहा है, तो मैं क्या करूंगा, इसको ये VM को यहाँ से उठाऊंगा. मैं लेट मी टेक टू माय टोपोलॉजी. ये VM यहाँ प्रॉब्लम दे रही है, मैं इसको लाइव उठाऊंगा, लाइव, एंड देन आई विल मूव इट टू अनदर सर्वर. ठीक है. लेट्स सी हाउ लाइव इट विल बी. तो मैं एक काम करता हूँ, ये जो मेरा रिमोट डेस्कटॉप है, ये मेरा 11 वाला रिमोट डेस्कटॉप ही है ना. दिस इज नथिंग बट अ वर्चुअल मशीन. ये क्या है? ये वर्चुअल मशीन ही तो है. ठीक है. अब मेरे वर्चुअल मशीन को ही मैं उठा के उधर लेके जाता हूँ. दिस इज दैट वर्चुअल मशीन 1.11. डू यू सी 1.11? अब मैं ये कहां पर है, 102 पे. मैं काम करता हूं, इसको 106 पे लेके जाता हूं. लेके जाऊं? गाइस यू हैव टू आंसर.
Yes, please.
ओके.
Yes.
मैं क्या करता हूं, इसको लाइव पिंग भी करता हूं, तो यू कैन आल्सो मॉनिटर इट. तो कंपनी में ऐसे चलता है. ठीक है. मैं अभी 11 को पिंग कर रहा हूं कंटिन्यूअसली. ठीक है. नाउ व्हाट आई एम गोइंग टू डू, ये इसके अंदर मैं इसको एक सर्वर से 102 से मशीन से हटा के, यहाँ से मैं उसको यहाँ से 102 से हटा के मैं उसको 106 पे लेके जा रहा हूँ. ठीक है. सो लेट्स ट्राई. राइट क्लिक, मैं इसको बोलूंगा माइग्रेट करो, तो वो बोलेगा ठीक है किसको, तो मैं बोलूंगा इसका हार्ड डिस्क भी माइग्रेट करो और इसका ये भी माइग्रेट करो. वाई हार्ड डिस्क एंड इवन यू कैन सिर्फ उसका CPU रैम आप माइग्रेट कर सकते हो. हार्ड डिस्क क्यों माइग्रेट करना है, क्योंकि मैंने मेरा एनवायरनमेंट स्टैटिक रखा है, डायनेमिक नहीं रखा है. मैंने लोकल हार्ड डिस्क पे मैं सेव करता हूँ, डायनेमिक इस पे नहीं करता हूँ. तो जब मुझे CPU रैम लेके जाना है तो मैं साथ में हार्ड डिस्क को भी लेके जा रहा हूँ उधर से. ठीक है. तो एज ऑफ नाउ इट्स सेव्ड. इफ यू सी दिस वर्चुअल मशीन, इसका हार्ड डिस्क कहाँ है, 107 पे है. ठीक है. सॉरी 102 पे है. और इसका नेटवर्क आप देखेंगे, सॉरी नॉट नेटवर्क, हार्ड डिस्क यहाँ पे, और इसका पूरा सिस्टम 102 पे. तो मैं इसको लेके जाता हूँ 106 पे. राइट क्लिक, यहाँ पे चेंज करता हूँ, कंप्यूटर स्टोरेज दोनों को लेके जाना है. वो पूछेगा किधर लेके जाना है, मैं बोलूंगा 6 पे लेके जाओ. तो वो बोलता है कि भाई कंपेटेबल नहीं, उसका CPU और तुम्हारा CPU बराबर नहीं है. मैं बोलता हूँ ठीक है, एक काम करो, मुझे 4 पे लेके जाओ. तो वो बोलता है ठीक है, लेकिन उसका जो CD ड्राइव का जो ISO है ना, वो लेके नहीं जाऊंगा. मैं बोलता ठीक है. ये वार्निंग है ना. वार्निंग एक चीज होती है और दूसरा चीज अलग होती है. ठीक है ना. वार्निंग एक
CD DVD मैप होगा इसलिए ये शो कर रहा है.
राइट, DVD मैप होगा तो वो वार्निंग में आ जाएगा. मैं बोलूंगा ठीक है, कोई प्रॉब्लम नहीं. ठीक है. आई विल क्लिक नेक्स्ट. अब मैं 2 से 4 पे लेके जा रहा हूँ गाइस. तो वो बोलेगा 4 की कौन सी हार्ड डिस्क पे, मैं बोलता हूँ 4 की लोकल हार्ड डिस्क पे. लेकिन लोकल हार्ड डिस्क पे कभी नहीं करना, क्योंकि लोकल हार्ड डिस्क इज स्लो. ठीक है. आई टेक 1 स्टेप बैक, आई गो टू 3. ठीक है ना. 3 पे फिर वही इश्यू बता रहा है कि भाई CD ड्राइव का प्रॉब्लम है. मैं बोला ठीक है. तो 3 के ऊपर भी लोकल है गाइस. 1 मिनट, गो टू 5. 5 पे NVMe. तो NVMe टू NVMe काम करो आप. लोकल पे जाओगे तो इट विल टेक लॉट ऑफ टाइम. ठीक है. मैं बोलूंगा 5 पे जाऊंगा. वहां पे कौन से VLAN में जाना है, मैं बोलूंगा वही VLAN में जाओ. तो VLAN 10 से VLAN 10 में ही जा रहा है. सोर्स नेटवर्क 10, डेस्टिनेशन 10. कैसे मैच हो रहा है, बिकॉज डिस्ट्रीब्यूटेड स्विचेस. नेक्स्ट नेक्स्ट. अब मैं जैसे ही फिनिश करूंगा तो हो सकता है कि ये कनेक्टिविटी डिस्कनेक्ट हो. इट ऑल डिपेंड्स ऑन माय परफॉर्मेंस, जबकि ये डिस्कनेक्ट होता ही नहीं. ठीक है. सो आई विल गो अहेड एंड कनेक्ट इट. और मैं क्या करता हूँ पता है क्या, रिमोटली भी मैं लॉग इन करता हूँ इस पे सर्वर पे मेरे मोबाइल से. ठीक है, मेरे मोबाइल से मैं लॉग इन करता हूँ इस सर्वर पे. लेट मी, ओके. अगर आप यहाँ पे देखोगे, सो दो यूजर्स कनेक्ट है. कौन? एक मैं एडमिनिस्ट्रेटर और दूसरा मेरा मोबाइल. ठीक है ना. तो मेरे हाथ में मेरा मोबाइल है, मेरा मोबाइल सब देख रहा है इसको. ठीक है. तो यहाँ पे जैसे ही अब मैं फिनिश करूंगा तो मेरा मोबाइल भी डिस्कनेक्ट नहीं होगा, ना मेरा यहाँ डीपी डिस्कनेक्ट होगा, ना पिंग में मुझे कोई ड्रॉप मिलना चाहिए. इट ऑल डिपेंड्स ऑन माय हार्डवेयर परफॉर्मेंस. ठीक है गाइस. सो लेट्स गो अहेड एंड डू इट. सो माइग्रेशन चालू. यहाँ पे आप उसका देख सकते हो. वो क्या करता है, रैम मूव करता है. 2 से 5 पे रैम मूव कर रहा है पहले. इट्स गोइंग ऑन 33. जैसे 67 80 पे हो गया, वो सीपीयू और रैम स्विच कर देता है. सो इट्स कॉपिंग ऑल द थिंग्स. ठीक है. और ये जीबी में हो रहा है. अगर आपका एमबी का एनवायरनमेंट है देन फॉरगेट अबाउट दिस. और मैं मेरा एक्टिविटी चालू रख रहा हूँ, मैं कुछ बंद भी नहीं कर रहा हूँ. ठीक है. मैं यहाँ पे क्लिक करूंगा, मैं यहाँ पे क्लिक करूंगा. और आपको पता है यही वीएम का हम मूवमेंट कर रहे हैं. ठीक है. सो इट्स गोइंग टू हैपन शॉर्टली. 34%. इस पे आप बैकग्राउंड में पता भी नहीं चलेगा आपको कि ये हो रहा है. बोलो, एनी क्वेश्चन?
नहीं नहीं,
ठीक है.
तो डेली
So here,
ऑपरेशन में जैसे सर्वर्स वगैरह भी होते हैं तो ये माइग्रेट होते रहते हैं ऑटोमेटिकली, तो कई सारे
ऑटोमेटिकली.
यूजर्स को पता भी नहीं होता कि
यस,
स्लाइड ऑफ इम्पैक्ट भी नहीं होता इसका.
राइट. और ये एक एक नहीं होते, एक साथ 10 10 20 20 होते हैं. 20 20 सर्वर इधर के उधर चले जा रहे हैं. हु इज डूइंग दैट? वी सेंटर. ठीक है. हम तो एक कर रहे हैं, हमको इतना टाइम लग रहा है. और ये मैं 6 और 7 को इसलिए नहीं कर सकता, वो हैंड के डिवाइस है और उसका सीपीयू मैच नहीं होता है. मींस एक आर्किटेक्चर से आप दूसरे आर्किटेक्चर पे नहीं ले जा सकते, आपको बंद करके ले जाना पड़ेगा.
अगर आप ईवीसी इनेबल कर दोगे तो चलता है.
हाँ, तो ईवीसी इनेबल करूंगा तो मुझे वो फिर वो इस पे ब्रॉडवेल पे
डाउन
वगैरह
करना
करना
पड़ेगा,
पड़ेगा. राइट.
आप
आई
पूरा
डोंट.
क्लस्टर डाउन करना पड़ेगा.
हाँ, तो पूरा आई डोंट वांट टू टेक दैट. डिग्रेशन हो जाएगा थोड़ा बहुत उसमें. और
हाँ हाँ हाँ.
that the reason I keep it static only. See, this lab is not for playing purpose, right? प्रोडक्शन में होता है बहुत से जन, जब प्रोडक्शन में जाएंगे देन दे विल सी इट. अगर मैं यहाँ पे रखूंगा तो कभी भी इधर उधर होते रहेंगे, फिर झूलते रहेंगे,
हाँ.
which will degrade my other performance. तो गाइज, व्हाट यू आर सीइंग नाउ, लाइव आपका सर्वर, एक सर्वर फिजिकल बॉक्स से उठ के दूसरे फिजिकल बॉक्स में जा रहा है. ओके. अब ये छोटा मोटा सर्वर तो नहीं है, इसको 8 10 जीबी का सर्वर है. अगर आप छोटा वीएम ले लेते तो वो क्विकली हो जाता. छोटा वीएम मेरे पास ये राउटर है. ठीक है. और ये तो बहुत बड़ा होता है, ये ESX है तो जो जीबी में होता है. ठीक है ना. बट एनीवे, लेट्स डू इट. ये मेरा राउटर है, सिस्को टाइप में राउटर आता है वियोस का. तो ये राउटर में कल के को आप जब लैब पूरा डेवलप करोगे देन यू हैव टू गो अहेड एंड कनेक्ट देयर. ओके. ये 39% क्या टाइम ले रहा है. तो इस बीच में अगर आपको मॉनिटर परफॉर्मेंस देखना है ना, आई गो टू 4 5 पे कर रहे हैं ना हम, राइट. यू कैन मॉनिटर दी नेटवर्क परफॉर्मेंस हियर. अगर आप यहाँ पे जाके नेटवर्क का परफॉर्मेंस देखोगे तुमको पता चल जाएगा. देखिए ऑटोमेटिक स्पाइक हुआ क्या यहाँ पे, तो कितना डेटा कॉपी कर रहा है ये, यू कैन सी इट हियर. हुआ ना यहाँ पे ऑल ऑफ सडन स्पाइक. तुम इसका सीपीयू देख लो, इसका डेटा स्टोर का तो नहीं हुआ, मेमोरी देख लो, इसका थोड़ा बढ़ गया. सीपीयू देख लो, सीपीयू का भी कुछ प्रॉब्लम नहीं है. नेटवर्क देखो फुल स्पाइक हो गया, इसका भी स्पाइक हुआ और ये 102 का भी स्पाइक हुआ. ये देखो इसका मेमोरी, इसका नेटवर्क, ये देखो दोनों भी एकदम टॉप पे चल रहे हैं. टॉप पे मीन जो भी है उसका.
के निक कार्ड पे भी डिपेंड करता है कि आपका कितना निक कार्ड है उसमें.
जनरली आई शुड हैव 9000 रखना चाहिए. यहाँ पे क्या किया मैंने पता नहीं, 9000 रहेगा तो बहुत अच्छा है। तो यहाँ पे मेरा 1500 है, दैट द रीजन इट्स अ प्रॉब्लम। ठीक है, एक्चुअली मैंने इसका MTU 9000 रखना चाहिए था। ठीक है, अगर मैं वो 9000 रखता, सो लेट्स गो अहेड एंड डू इट। तो ये अगर मैं 9000 करूंगा ना, मेरे स्टोरेज को प्रॉब्लम आता है। मैंने लास्ट टाइम किया था उसको, मेरे
राइट राइट,
स्टोरेज को प्रॉब्लम आ गया।
और वो कंपैटिबिलिटी नहीं बनती इसकी।
राइट, सो मैं इसको कैंसिल कर दूंगा। इस समझ तो आ गया रहेगा इधर से उधर, मैं जब तक
हाँ
दूसरा
बिल्कुल।
करता हूँ।
अगर आप सेपरेट एक पोर्ट ग्रुप बनाएंगे ना, मतलब एक वीलन के लिए सेपरेट असाइन करेंगे ना, तो थोड़ा सा ये इतना लोड नहीं लेगा।
राइट, मतलब एक काम करते हैं, हम इसको ऐसे ही मिनिमाइज करके विल कंटिन्यू, बाद में हम आके चेक करेंगे कि भाई हमारा 102 से 4 पे गया है कि नहीं। चलेगा?
चलेगा।
ठीक है, ओके गाइस। तो अभी हमारा कहाँ तक हुआ, मैंने आपको क्या क्या बताया, लेट्स ट्राई टू अंडरस्टैंड। और एक फीचर है DRS फीचर। DRS फीचर क्या करता है, वो वी मोशन ही है। ठीक है, DRS फीचर में क्या होता है कि आपका सपोज यू हैव 8 डिवाइसेस, राइट। अब मैं कहाँ कहाँ पे नजर रखूंगा कि मेरा किसका यूटिलाइजेशन किधर है। ठीक है, तो जैसे ही मैं DRS इनेबल करता हूं, तो DRS ऑन बिहाफ ऑफ मी विच इज अ पार्ट ऑफ वी सेंटर, वो आपके पूरे इस पे नजर रखेगा कि भाई किधर कितना यूटिलाइजेशन कम है और किधर ज्यादा है। जिधर ज्यादा है तो उधर से वो रिसोर्स उठाएगा, जिधर कम है उधर ले जाके रखेगा थ्रू वी मोशन। ठीक है, यहाँ पे इसको लगेगा, इसका अगर प्रॉब्लम हुआ तो उसको उठा के इधर रखेगा, ये चलते रहेगा उसका पूरे कंपनी में। वो इधर उधर आपके VMs घुमाते रहता है। ठीक है, उसका मेन मोटिव ये होता है कि भाई सबको इक्वली लोड डिस्ट्रीब्यूट हो, कोई हीटअप ना हो और कोई मशीन आइडल ना हो। अगर ये आपका 7 और 6 हमेशा आइडल है, तो उसमें इतना पावर होता है कि वो बंद करके रखेगा दोनों, और बाद में चालू भी करेगा जरूरत पड़ेगी तो। ठीक है, वो इतना इंटेलिजेंट लेके चलता है साथ में। ठीक है, सो योर DRS इज नथिंग बट दैट ओनली। फॉर माई लैब आई डिसेबल द DRS, बट फॉर योर लैब यू कैन गो हेड एंड इनेबल इट। लेकिन तुम्हारा ऐसा VM रहेगा तो कुछ फायदे का नहीं है। ठीक है, DRS सिर्फ आपको इनेबल करना है। तो वो क्या करता है, आप कैसा रखना है, आपको पार्शियली ऑटोमेट रखना है। पार्शियली ऑटोमेटिक में क्या होता है, जब आप कोई भी चीज नहीं डिप्लॉय कर रहे हो VM, तो पहले ही जाने से पहले आपको वार्निंग दे देगा कि भाई वहां पे रिसोर्स थोड़ा ज्यादा है, दूसरे जगह जाओ। ठीक है, फुल्ली ऑटोमेट का ये होता है कि वो खुद ही वो मैनेज कर लेगा कि भाई कैसे किधर जाना है। ठीक है, कौन सा रिसोर्स किधर रखना है उसको। ओके, सो दिस इज हाउ इट वर्क्स। सो दैट इज DRS एंड दिस वन। सो दिस फीचर्स आपको कुछ करना नहीं है, ये कंप्यूट के फीचर्स है। इवन आपके कंपनी में आपको हाथ लगाने भी नहीं देंगे इसको। ठीक है, क्योंकि इसका इम्पैक्ट पूरे डेटा सेंटर पे गिरेगा आपके। सो सिर्फ जो चीज करना नहीं है, तो सिर्फ अंडरस्टैंड तो कर लो उसको। ओके, मूविंग टू नेक्स्ट टॉपिक। सो डिस्ट्रीब्यूटेड स्विच हो गया। ठीक, ओके गाइस। सो ये तो हो गया हमारा रीसेंटर का पार्ट। ओके, सो स्टैंडर्ड स्विच, डिस्ट्रीब्यूटेड स्विच, नाउ इट्स टाइम फॉर लॉजिकल स्विच। व्हाट इज लॉजिकल स्विच? यू कैन सी हियर, आपने तो यहाँ पे स्विच बना दिया, ये चल ही रहा है अभी। ठीक है, इस पे भी ध्यान देते हैं। देखो गाइस, इसको भी यहाँ पे भी रखते हैं थोड़ा कहीं, तो नहीं तो इसको यहीं से ये गेटवे को पिंग करेगा ना। ठीक है, मैं इसको यहाँ कहीं पे रखता हूँ नीचे। ठीक है, ये चलता रहेगा। तो गाइस, आपने स्टैंडर्ड स्विच भी देखा, डिस्ट्रीब्यूटेड स्विच भी देखा, राइट। नाउ इट्स टाइम फॉर लॉजिकल स्विच। लॉजिकल स्विच क्या होता है? लॉजिकल स्विच सिट्स बिहाइंड, लॉजिकल स्विच सपोर्ट्स योर VXLAN नंबरिंग। अगर VXLAN नंबरिंग सपोर्ट करता है, दैट मीन्स इट्स सपोर्टिंग 16 मिलियंस ऑफ VNIs, IDs, नंबर्स। ठीक है, VLAN जो होता है, VLAN में नंबर होता है 1 से लेके 4000 तक, 4009 जो भी है। ठीक है, 94, 96। तो इसके अंदर भी नंबर्स होता है दैट स्टार्ट फ्रॉम 1 to 16 मिलियन, बट जनरली वी यूज 5000। तो आपका जो VX LAN का पोर्ट ग्रुप रहेगा ये दिखेगा ऐसा ही, ठीक है ना, लॉजिकल ऐसे ही दिखेगा, लेकिन दैट इज सपोर्टेड बाय VX LAN, ओके, दैट इज सपोर्टेड बाय दोज नंबरिंग्स, ठीक है ना। और VX LAN का कंसेप्ट कैसा है, VX LAN का ऐसे कंसेप्ट नहीं है आपका कि भाई वो ये विलान से वो विलान में जा रहा है। VX LAN का कंसेप्ट बताया था मैंने, राइट? किसी को कुछ डाउट है VX LAN के कंसेप्ट में, हाउ ट्रैफिक इधर से उधर फ्लो होता है, ये वाला, ये वाले कंसेप्ट पे किसी को डाउट है? ये वाले, कि आपका एक VM यहाँ पर है, दूसरा VM वहां पर है, इधर से उसको उधर जाना है तो इट्स नॉट डायरेक्ट, ठीक है। ये क्या करेगा, लॉजिकल पोर्ट को कनेक्ट करेगा, सो नाउ इट्स पार्ट ऑफ 5001, ये जाएगा टेप के पास, इनकैप्सुलेट होगा, इधर थ्रू वीलैन से इधर से उधर जाएगा, कंसीडरिंग इट एज ए जंबो पैकेट, यहाँ पे लैंड होगा एंड इट्स गिवन बैक अगेन टू दी 5001 एंड ट्रैफिक इज रीचेबल, ठीक है ना। उसको और एक वे में समझाता हूँ। VX LAN का कंसेप्ट तुम्हारे ऐसे नहीं है नॉर्मल वाले के जैसा, तो VX LAN का कंसेप्ट ऐसे, ठीक है ना। ये आपका सर्वर 1 है, ये आपका सर्वर 2 है, यहाँ पे आपका VM है, यहाँ पे आपका VM है। ये नॉर्थ साउथ नहीं जाते, ये ईस्ट वेस्ट में कैसे जाता है देखो, ये आपका स्विच है, आपके स्विच को दोनों भी ट्रंक कनेक्टेड है, ठीक है, फिजिकल इंफ्रास्ट्रक्चर है आपका। इसको इधर से उधर जाना है, इट्स यूजिंग सेम डिस्ट्रीब्यूटेड स्विचिंग, सेम डिस्ट्रीब्यूट स्विच लेगा, लेकिन पोर्ट ग्रुप VX LAN वाला बनाएगा, ये वाला पोर्ट ग्रुप, ठीक है ना। इसको हम कहते हैं लॉजिकल स्विच। तो ये यहाँ जाएगा, लॉजिकल स्विच को कनेक्ट होगा, लॉजिकल स्विच में बाइंडिंग होता है VX LAN का। और आपके इंफ्रास्ट्रक्चर को VX LAN पता है क्या? इसको पता है क्या VX LAN आपके इंफ्रास्ट्रक्चर को? नहीं पता है। पता भी होता तो ये अपनी VX LAN इंफॉर्मेशन उसको नहीं शेयर करेगा। इवन दो इफ यू आर यूजिंग VX ACI, ये इसका VX LAN नंबर अलग रहेगा, उसका VX LAN नंबर अलग रहेगा, ठीक है। तो ये क्या करेगा, आपके इधर पता ही नहीं है VX LAN क्या है स्विच में, किसको पता है? सिर्फ इसको पता होता है। तो ये क्या करता है, ये VX LAN 5000 यहाँ पे दे देता है नंबर इसको, और ये नंबर क्या करता है, ये जाता है, ये देता है, यहाँ पे टेप बैठा हुआ है, जैसा VM कर्नल आपका 101 IP है ना, वैसे एक नया IP मिलेगा उसको, ठीक है। तो ये टेप क्या करता है, ये टेप और ये टेप एक दूसरे को बात करते हैं, एंड देन दे विल ड्रॉप द पैकेट बिटवीन ईच अदर, एंड देन इट विल गो अहेड एंड गिव द ट्रैफिक बैक। किसको देगा ये? वहां का जो लॉजिकल स्विच है, जो एक डिस्ट्रीब्यूटेड स्विच के अंदर जो लॉजिकल स्विच है, वो उसको ट्रैफिक दे देगा, और वो यहाँ पे दे देगा। अभी ये इन बीच में ये जो लाइन है, इसको बोलते हैं अंडरले और इसको बोलते हैं ओवरले। किसी को कुछ क्वेश्चन? नो, राइट? ओके, कम बैक। सो लेट्स सी हमारा कहाँ तक आया अभी मोशन। कंप्लीट भी हो गया गाइस, तुमको पता चला कहीं पे ये कंप्लीट हो गया? Do you have you observed anything like any drop, packet drop, anything? Let me disconnect this. यहाँ कहीं पैकेट ड्रॉप दिख रहा है क्या आपको? नो, राइट? मेरा भी देखो, मेरा भी विंडोज चालू है, अभी इस पे काम भी कर रहे थे हम। अभी ये सर्वर हार्ड डिस्क के साथ कहाँ पर आया मेरा ये सर्वर, विंडोज का सर्वर? इट केम फ्रॉम एक 105 पे आ गया, पहले कहा था 102 पे था। चलो इसको वापस लेके जाता हूँ, क्योंकि मुझे 102 पे ही रखना होता है उसको, ठीक है। अगर मैं विदाउट हार्ड डिस्क ले जाता तो और स्पीड में होता, लेकिन वो दैट इज नॉट पॉसिबल फॉर मी, बिकॉज आई एम यूजिंग समथिंग डिफरेंट इन्वायरमेंट। ऑफिस में ऐसे नहीं होता है, ठीक है। मैं लेके जा रहा हूँ, ठीक है। अब इसको वापस भी लेके जा रहा हूँ, पहले मैं लाया था इधर, अभी वापस भी लेके जा रहा हूँ, ओके। तो गाइस, ये डाउट क्लियर हो गए तुम्हारे लॉजिकल के? इफ यस, देन विल मूव, गो अहेड एंड मूव। मैं आपको बोलता हूँ कि ये इस वीक में आप पूरा आपका ये कर लो, Vcenter इंस्टॉलेशन एंड ऑल। टुमारो, फ्रॉम टुमारो ऑनवर्ड्स वी आर गोइंग टू स्टार्ट NSXT। एनी क्वेश्चन गाइस? तो आपको क्या करना है, आपको vCenter ESXi इंस्टॉलेशन vCenter इंस्टॉलेशन करना है। या विकास, योर वॉइस इज ब्रेकिंग।
No.
ओके, तो इस वीक में आपको क्या करना है, मुझे रिक्वेस्ट करना है कि लैब बूट करो, मैं लैब बूट करूंगा, देन यू हैव टू बूट दैट लैब। ओके, तो गाइज और कुछ नया कंसेप्ट बताऊं क्या, आज के लिए इतना काफी है?
काफी।
Okay. और मैं क्या बोल रहा था कि आप ये वर्क स्टेशन से कंट्रोल मत लो, डायरेक्टली यू कैन हिट टू माय मास्टर वी सेंटर। और मास्टर वी सेंटर का इंफॉर्मेशन मैंने यहाँ पे ऑलरेडी आपको दिया है लैब मास्टर में, ये आपका HTTPS है। ठीक है, ठीक है, आई गेस आई एम डन विद टुडेज क्लास। इफ यू हैव एनी क्वेश्चन बी देयर, अदरवाइज लेट मी स्टॉप रिकॉर्डिंग। कुछ क्वेश्चन है क्या विकास?
नहीं, कोई क्वेश्चन नहीं है। बाकी का लैब का एक्सेस का क्या कैसे रहेगा, वो थोड़ा सा
लैब का
आइडिया।
आपको क्या करना है, लैब का आपको रिक्वेस्ट करना है कि जब भी आप फ्री रहेंगे, ठीक है,
ठीक है,
तो यू हैव टू सिंपली पिंग अस ऑन ग्रुप चैट, नॉट पर्सनल चैट। ग्रुप
ओके,
चैट में आप पिंग करोगे तो मैं क्या करूंगा, आपका लैब बूट करूंगा। सो व्हाट इज योर लैब नंबर? विकास का लैब नंबर 30 है, ठीक है ना? तो मैं आपका रिसोर्स बूट करूंगा और देन यू हैव टू लॉग ऑन टू दिस RDP विथ योर यूजर नेम विकास सिंह एंड पासवर्ड VMware।
ओके,
इफ
एट ए
यू आर
टाइम
एट होम यू कैन ट्राई इट नाउ एज वेल।
एट ए टाइम कितने लोग करेंगे एक्सेस लैब का?
10 लोग करेंगे, कोई इशू नहीं है, ठीक है, आप सभी करेंगे तो कोई इशू नहीं है।
टेल्स कैसे मिलेगा मुझे, मतलब काफी छोटा छोटा दिख रहा है।
ओके, तो नहीं तो आपको एक्सेल सीट दिया है ना मैंने, आपको क्या करना है, ये अभी आप आर दे रहा हूँ लैपटॉप।
हाँ, लैपटॉप है।
हाँ, तो वो एक्सेल सीट ओपन करो ना जो मैंने दिया था, अदरवाइज इसको
व्हाट्सएप
RDP
पे
करो,
निकाले से
यूज दैट RDP।
ओके,
यूजर नेम, ये यूजर नेम डालना है आपको, क्लाउड्स नेटवर्किंग स्लैश यूजर नेम। तो यूजर नेम इज विकास सिंह। फिर आपको मास्टर वी सेंटर पे लॉग इन करना है विद दिस यूजर नेम एंड पासवर्ड। फिर आपको आपका लैब 30 है ना, तो आपके लैब 30 में जाके आपको 30 का फोल्डर एक्सपांड करना है और आपके रिसोर्स बूट करना है, ये 30। जैसे आप बूट करोगे देन यू हैव टू गो एंड एक्सेस दी कंसोल और आपको 2 ESXi को कॉन्फ़िगर करना है विद
ठीक है,
दीज आईपीस। कौन से आईपीस? ये वाले आईपीस से आपका तो जो भी लैब है उसके आईपीस आपको ये करना है। एंड
ठीक है,
बिफोर डूइंग दिस यू हैव टू डू दी DNS एंट्री। DNS एंट्री आप कैसे करोगे? सेम आपका जो सर्वर है दैट इज योर डोमेन सर्वर एज वेल। DNS में जाओगे, राइट क्लिक, DNS मैनेजर।
ठीक
सबसे
है।
पहले आपको आपके लैब का रिवर्स लुकअप जोन है कि नहीं चेक करना है। 27, राइट? अभी 27 नहीं है तो आपको जाके बनाना पड़ेगा, मैं बना दूं?
बना सकते हैं।
नहीं, आप खुद बना लो, ठीक है ना। न्यू जोन में जाओ आप, यहाँ पे यू गिव द आईपी एड्रेस, आपका 27 वाला आईपी एड्रेस दे दो। फिर उसके बाद में फॉरवर्ड लुकअप जोन में जाके आपका ESXi जैसे मैंने बनाया ना मेरा 32 को वगैरह, वैसे आपके ऐसे डोमेन्स बना दो। आपका 2 ESXi एक Vcenter,
ओके,
ठीक
और
है।
जैसे मैंने अपना एक खुद का लैब बना रखा है, उस पे अगर मैं करना चाहूँ तो ये जैसे मोस्ट ऑफ द टाइम क्या रहता है कि घर वाले से ना बहुत इजीली कनेक्ट कर लेता हूँ मैं।
नहीं तो ये भी बहुत इजी है, आपको RDP पे तो करना है कनेक्ट।
ओके, ओके,
देखो आपका घर का जो है ना, आपको मालूम नहीं, यू आर नॉट हियर टू रन ओनली ESXi एंड Vcenter। ESXi Vcenter और NSXT जब आप बूट करेंगे ना 50 GB तो आपका इसी चला जाएगा। डू यू हैव 50 GB रैम?
48।
48 है तो सिर्फ आपको बूट करने के लिए 50 चल रहे हैं, आगे रिसोर्सेज कौन डालेगा,
हाँ, हाँ, हाँ,
राइट? तो हर एक को
राइट,
64 GB रैम लगता है पर स्टूडेंट मुझे,
ओके,
ठीक है। तो ठीक है ना गाइस, यू गाइस कैन गो अहेड एंड डू इट। तो जैसे ही
करेक्ट,
आपका लैब खत्म हो जाता है आपको उसमें बोलना है कि आई एम डन विद माय लैब, तो मैं क्या करूंगा, स्क्रिप्ट रन करके लैब को शट डाउन कर दूंगा।
ठीक है, डन।
ओके, ओके गाइस, आई एम गोइंग टू स्टॉप द रिकॉर्डिंग।